Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast episode 678. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod,
Ahoy!
and Tony
Hey,
Korkanakis.
hey, hey.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers. We are live on Twitch starting Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Please join us. We are on YouTube. For all those following episodes, just always subscribe to both channels. That way you get the latest and greatest of these episodes. You know when we go live. You know when we post. Because next week we won't be posting. We'll be on break. We're taking the week off for between Christmas and New Year's. Coming back the year after. Year after. That's funny to say. We're coming back in 2024 on that Tuesday. I think that's the second, if I looked it up. With bold predictions for the gaming world. We do it for movies as well, so you can check it out. We evaluate last year's bold predictions. I don't remember them. I'm gonna laugh my ass off probably when I'm listening to those episodes, writing down our bold predictions, and
It's not gonna be good.
it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be really funny, especially the movies one's gonna be insane because we had no idea what was coming. But Super Mario, I believe, was in a lot of our predictions. But yeah, so game wise, that's it. We're gonna do this episode here, and then bowl predictions next year. So, guys, what have we been playing for the last bit of 2023? I can kick us off, and I will kick us off with a surprise game, Sea of Stars.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was kind of like in the mood to play an old-fashioned RPG. Like in the mood to play this game because I've heard it's on lists for of the years, and I'm like always searching for that. And man, it's got some good, nice, fun charm. It's got that like Suikoden kind of vibe to it too, which I like. But it's a turn-based RPG. It's on a lot of lists, like I said. I got it on Steam, my Steam Deck, and I found it for like $19 on CD Keys. So it's yeah.
Nice.
I thought, hey, that's a good deal. I'm grabbing it, and it's enjoyable. I've only played. I'm very early in it so far, an hour and a half. But I'm enjoying the art style, which is like a pixel art kind of thing, and you know, text scrolling text, no voice things. You know, it's very old fashioned. But it's good. It's got a nice little charm to it. Like I said, I so far so good on this. I'm liking it. I'm going to finish it hopefully before we do our of the years because I can see where it's going to fall. But I thought I'd give myself another option for another game just to make the list. Possibly. I'm not saying it's going to be on that list right now, but I'm just telling you that it gives me another option. It's way too early to tell you where this is going to be at this point.
No, I was more surprised that you intend to finish it before. In like
Yeah, I mean, I read that it was like 25 to 30 hours.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and it's on the Steam Deck, so I can bring it with me. That's the advantages of that. So I can get through that one. Not yet, Friday, but pretty much today was nuts, but I think starting tomorrow my days get super quiet till the end of the week, so I'm gonna start I'm bringing it to work with me, so we'll have a couple hours in. But yeah, so we'll see. That's it for me though, really of note. Some more Super Mario Wonder, by the way. Super Mario Wonder, fantastic game. You know,
You guys
I don't know about
finished with that yet, or
no, I don't know where are we on that? Five maps, five. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's when
but
the
yeah, that's it for
difficulty
me.
starts ramping up. So
Yeah, she's having some issues. Like I said, she's trying to tell me how you can't do it that way, and I'm like, no. This is how the game wants you to play. Trust me. But
it's like that scene from The Lion, the Witch, and the Brewer. Where it's like, don't speak that to me. I was there when the magic was written.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, it's just funny when she tries to give me tips for Mario. I just okay. So, but yeah, it's good though. It's a fantastic game. That's going to be on my list, I'm sure. Like it's top. The only problem is our list. I think we're doing top 3. It's so tough to do that third spot for me. It's like I don't know what's going to fall in that third spot. So for me, like the top 2 spots are a given. But so all right, that's it for me. Yeah, that's it for me though. Corey, what have you been playing?
Play more Cyberpunk. I think when I first started, I did the Corp route, but then I decided.
oh, you took the corpo route? What is wrong with you, dude?
No,
That's like the worst
I switched
route.
it up. I switched it up this time, and because I started over, and I went with the street kid or whatever street
Yeah.
person.
Street
That's the
urchin.
only one I haven't done so
Street
far.
urchin stuff. Yeah, so it's been fun. Excited to get into some like the new stuff, but like I don't remember any of what was wrong with it before. I just remember like, this is just not good. It doesn't run. So then now I haven't had any issues or anything, and it runs
That's
really
good.
well on Steam Deck. So I'm
Right.
pretty impressed by that. Then, but I also played some Lethal Company. I got some of my board game buddies to buy.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious
well,
right now?
They were saying like, "What? Like, want to play a game?" I was like, I have a game. I haven't played it yet." I know, like, I couldn't play when you were playing the last time. But
So then say something. Be like, yo, I want to play Lethal Company. You available? I'd be like, all right, yeah. Damn you. Damn you. Go on.
Listen, I might grab this during those 2 weeks I'm off.
It's $10.
I know.
Exactly.
I might grab it.
It's
There's more of a reason for me soon. I might be off my feet for like 2 weeks. Well,
Oh,
I'll explain
okay.
later.
All right.
Yeah, so I might grab that too.
Yeah, so Lethal Company jumped into it not knowing a single thing. So I'm like, I just heard it's good. You collect scraps and you do stuff, and so let's see what happens. And so it took like 10 minutes to figure out how to start the game. I'm like, how do we get out of this ship? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
You got to use
Like,
the
what are we
console.
doing
Yeah.
here? Yep. So then we figured that out. And then we're like, shouldn't we have a flashlight or something? Like, I remember Tony saying we had a flashlight. Like, how do you get this flashlight? And so, like, we spent like 2 runs just trying to find a flashlight because we had no idea. So then, because we were just like, all right, well, let's see what we do here. And I guess the first time we played it, we loaded up. The graphics didn't load up properly, and so all the water just looked like regular ground, and we kept like falling and like what's happening here, and then I drowned. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So we started it, and then it actually kind of looked more like water, but then we figured out how to get the flashlight, and then I was like, okay, I'll get a flashlight and walkie-talkie, and then I didn't realize that was a whole crew's worth of credits and not our individual credits. So I was like, well, we got 1 flashlight and 1 walkie-talkie, so
Good.
we'll just stay together. And then, so we finally found some scrap after like the 3rd, 4th run because we didn't know what we were doing. And as soon as we find it, of course, the monster, like, we had like some slug thing fall on us and stuff like that. But my one buddy he's like, oh, look at this antenna! Like, grab the antenna, go out and put it, go back to the ship, and I'll stay here. So I go, all right, I'll go out to the ship, and it's raining, so I'm running out in the ship and said, you have seconds to live. And I was like, what? And then I get struck by lightning. I just I'm like, what the heck? And then like I hear my buddy's like, are you coming back? I'm like,
He doesn't know.
nope.
He doesn't know.
I was like, coming back? Dude, why it's taking so long? So yeah, it's a lot of fun to just kind of discover what you're doing and what you're the game in general, just like because it's so new and nobody really knows what you're doing, and you're just kind of having fun figuring that out. I think that was what was the most enjoyable. But we like the last one we did, we finally got stuff to the ship, and we're like, how do we like sell it? And so we were like spending like all this time trying to figure that out, and a monster jumps into our ship and just like starts tearing us apart in the ship. So yeah,
Wow.
so I haven't even sold anything. Like I've not done anything.
Oh my goodness. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
All
a
right.
little company. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds fun. Mike, what have you been playing?
I have been playing God of War Ragnarok Valhalla.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. The roguelike. Nice.
It's free.
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
And
Good price.
this is one of the best DLCs I've played,
For
free
free,
or
too. Yeah.
paid. It's surprising. There's the actual random generation isn't as much as you'd think. It's pretty, straight shot through every time. There's just different upgrades you can pick up and a few different arrangements of enemies or like sequence of doors. But there's a lot of new voice lines in this. A lot. There's a lot of story. Not a lot of areas per se, but there's a lot of story. And
It's
if you like
an
the
epilogue,
combat,
right?
yeah. If you like the combat of these games, it's just you go deep into it. You get certain upgrades.
Yeah.
Your build sort of changes a little bit based on luck each time.
Roguelike.
But
Yep.
you also there's certain things where you can upgrade permanently and
Oh, they do
stronger.
give you some permanent ones.
yeah.
So each
that's-
run gets you stronger and stronger.
Yes, to like certain extent, the best things are still like the stuff you would pick up in the arenas, like mind. But yeah, you get some story, you get a little bit of a character reflection about well, it's a little bit of a story spoiler if if you've seen screenshots of this game and know that it's an epilogue, you know something doesn't happen at the end of first game. So
You mean Ragnarok
but
doesn't happen?
No, I didn't say that.
I don't know, but
no, it's you get some characters that were underserved in the, or one specific character that was underserved in the main story gets a chance to shine here, and
Nice.
it's a lot of character stuff with the main character you're playing as, who is probably who you expect them to be this time, and it's real good. I'm surprised. I can't believe it's free. I would have paid $20 for this. It's
Nice.
that's
pretty
cool.
good.
It's good
And
value.
then
Free.
yeah, so if none of you guys played Ragnarok at all yet, have you?
Not yet.
No?
We want to.
Yeah. Well, if anyone else has, this is obviously like if you like the game, you like this. And then I've just finished it yesterday. I played it like 4 or 5 nights in a row. It's can be chunky, especially if you suck. I didn't suck too bad, but there was a little bit of a wall
Getting
I hit,
back
like
into the
where
swing of things a little bit too, I assume.
well, yeah, it does. It eases you in a little bit, and it reminds you some of the controls. Because yeah, most people who've played this haven't been playing the game for like a year and change. But no, I just late in the game. It was actually turned out to be the last boss. It was a bit of a wall. And I took about 4 or 5 attempts, but had a decent build going and did it. Yeah, there's an ending too, so it's pretty good.
Cool.
Nice.
And then the other thing I played as an early Christmas present for my wife, who was interested, was we started to play Mario Wonder. So we
Nice.
got that, and it's okay. I mean,
It's
nothing
fine.
to me.
Well-
we got to go further. I guess it's not that interesting yet to me. The first like area we did.
I still thought that like from the beginning it was like the cool dynamic to be thrown in there with the power ups, but and the way the levels change. I don't know.
I mean, the changes haven't been that interesting to me
Yeah,
yet. I was
okay.
expecting a little more, but we'll have to get further in.
It's
'cause
so
it's just
crazy
the very
like
beginning.
zany. That's why I was like, for me, I'm like, it's kind of cool to have. I don't know. For me, I don't. But I'm more of a Mario fan than you anyway, so it's
Yeah, it's fine. It's fun. I hope she doesn't get too frustrated as we get to the harder stuff, though. She's already a little on the edge of getting frustrated with
I mean,
some of the stuff.
At the end of the day, it's Mario. It can be frustrating, but it's not over the top. Like it's just it's the same dynamic. It's just I don't know. I don't find it like that much worse, but I don't know. So I mean, I'm sure to unlock like everything it will be, but so cool. All right, Tony.
Excuse me. Played more Baldur's Gate 3. I actually got mad at the game. Got
Yep,
mad
it
at
happens.
the game.
happens. I
No,
was
no.
ready to quit.
This was kind of like actually, I wasn't fan of it. How they designed this thing. I get like I guess if you're a D&D person, it's supposed to be more comical or whatever. But I was doing I forget if I mentioned, but I like almost went into Act 3 last time, and the game's like, you should probably finish up some things before you do this section. I was like, oh, okay, so I'll go back and finish off some quests that I just had lingering. And one of them is from Act 1, where you're supposed to go into the Githyanki, what is it, Kresh or whatever, what do they say?
Yeah.
So I'm finishing that up.
That's why I read it.
And first of all, they're all a bunch of fucking dicks. Like, every single one of them, I'm just like, I hate you. Like, your people suck. Like, I don't want to be a racist, but you all suck. And the only reason I haven't killed Lazelle is just because, like, she threatens me, and then I say, no, we're still doing it my way. And she's like, okay, fine. It's like...
She's a great fighter, too. Like,
no, she's great. I love her as
yeah.
a fighter and stuff like that. But, her fucking people are dicks.
She was my first romance in the game with my character.
Oh, really? Just because I was messing around with the saves, like, she came on to me, or whatever, and, like, there was an option for, like, just... She wasn't coming on, but she was, like, praising my character, like, oh, you've grown so much, like, your prowess in battle, blah, 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 and there was, like, a line, and this is something I would expect out of, like, a BioWare or, Fallout game, where it's like, oh, it sounds like you're flirting with me, and she just goes, yeah, I am, and I was like, oh, I was like, okay, she's like, I'll talk to you later tonight at camp, and I was like, okay. And like she just wakes me up in the middle of the night and is like, get up, fight me, take what's yours. I was like, oh, what's going on here? This is weird. You guys have some interesting mating rituals and you know, whatever and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm in the Githyanki circle, and what am I trying to say without spoiling? There's some shit you can do. Like the best part about this game is you can, you know, resolve a lot of these quests in different ways. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like these people. I really don't want to be diplomatic about this, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, you want this thing? I'm not giving it to you. So if that's a problem, do something about it, right? And they try to do something about it, and I prevail. And this, I guess, god being comes and is like,
yeah,
wow, that's great. That person was actually a badass. And I was like, he wasn't really a badass, but okay, you know, sure. And this character is like, you know, and I'm just starting to get so sassy with this character. And there's a line where it's like, you're going to regret this. And Lae'zel's even warned me, like, you should not, you know, provoke, you know, my, you know, person here and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, if you're so powerful, why don't you do something about it? And this character's like, fine, I wish you dead. And literally, I just got a game over screen. Like, no resolution, no dice roll, no combat, just your party wiped. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, wait, what? What just happened here, right? So, I mean, on one hand, I do appreciate, like, the comical aspect of it. I was like, oh, I really wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, like, a fight or something, right? But it's like, no, you died. And I was like, fucking yeah, I didn't get a chance to save. Because literally right after the previous fight, it goes into this cutscene of, like, dialogue choice. So I had to redo that. And that was, like, a 10 to 15 minute, like, because there's just so many enemies. I'm like, oh, my God. So that kind of annoyed me. But I could see the humor in it. I guess D&D people were nuts over it because it's a infamous character or whatever. But yeah, so I ended Act 2, heading into Act 3. Yeah, really good game. The writing's great. I still hate the combat. Gotten better, but it's not enjoyable for me. I don't know what it is.
For me, that heading in once Act 2 ended, for me the combat more clicked, and I liked it after that. But if you're not getting it yet,
I'm good at the combat. But, like I kill everybody, but it's just I don't know. It's just not fun to me.
There's some tricky fights in Act 3 though, like for
hopefully
terrain fights. Like you really gotta get used to your terrain in that.
Yeah, hopefully it makes it better because I don't know. I'm kind of busted. Like I have boots that let me teleport to wherever I can see.
Yeah, I had those too. That was big. That's big time.
So it's just
you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that. Yeah.
So like that. So I mean, I'm fine at the combat. It just feels to me like every situation is like the same. Like I know people post a lot of videos like, oh, you can do this and you can do this. I'm like, yeah, but I can just hit him with my axe and kill him. Like, yeah. But I will say that the climax of Act 2 was way more satisfying than the climax of Act 1 in terms of narrative and I was like,
I tried to fight that. Did I tell you guys that? I tried to fight that guy before I got his like weakness.
Oh.
Like, yeah. Oh. I went up there and I kept trying to kill him and that was fun. Oh. When you can't do it. Yeah, you just can't do it. You just can't. Nope. That fight was crazy the first time I did it. So.
That's funny.
Yeah. I told you, like, I did things so much out of order. But when I went back to get him at the end of the act, it was a lot easier to get there because I killed so many people on the way up there. But it was funny. But cool.
And then really quick, the one other thing that bothered me was I had a quest to like save a group of people in that tower, and I just thought it aligned with like the Act 2 main quest, right? Like, oh well, if I conquer the tower, I automatically save these people, and it's like, nah, you never found them. I was like, wait, what? And people are like, yeah, if you don't rescue them before you do the boss, you're just locked out of it.
I was like, an easy rescue too. Like I had it.
I just didn't know. I think
I fell into it.
I just didn't know. I was like, oh well, if I kill the guy, then I save these people. But no, apparently not. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to do 2 hours of combat all over again. Especially that fight. That boss.
That boss fight was
tough. Oh my god.
Yep. I had to retry that one.
Oh, you
that's
did?
The one where that's the one where I almost quit. Like that's the
really? Interesting.
Yeah, I was borderline like I can't. This game is fun, but this is way too fucking hard. And then I just had a breakthrough where I got it, and then I was fine.
What what was your build?
I did fighter, and it was just I didn't have good enough support. My characters weren't equipped well enough, I think, and that was the biggest problem. Like I couldn't. For me, I'm like a tank, but for them, they weren't doing enough damage, and it was just not I wasn't able to blitz through things.
What party
in
were
that
you
fight.
using?
Gale. Who was I in that?
Gale.
It was Gale. The Dothraki. So we had two fighters essentially.
Lae'zel. Yeah.
Lae'zel, yeah. And who was the other one?
You have Shadowheart? Carla?
Shadowheart.
Okay.
Only because and yeah, Shadowheart was there with me the whole time. So she was like in my party the entire time.
Yeah.
So that's I built her for a healing spec essentially. That was my healer.
Yeah, she's been
so
but
yeah. So I don't know. I just that fight. That's the fight that I actually just blitzed. I ignored the side people and I just blitzed the boss. That's how I got through it. That's how I got through it. I was trying to do the normal method of killing everything and just nope.
No.
I'm gonna burn the boss as much as I can.
Just waste all your cooldown.
Yep. Everything was unloaded.
Yeah.
I just unleashed hell on him, and that's how I did it.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, cool. All right, guys. Let's move into some news.
We actually have a lot of news.
Well, we had that one big one, which is a good or a bad thing to talk about. But we do have what else we have here? We've got well, first of all, last week's news. Just to go over that real quick. Update: Last of Us Online. Last week's news is now no more. Naughty Dog has canceled the online game, which has been in development for a while, so they have nothing. Right?
That was supposed to be coming out with the Last of Us.
Yeah, it was supposed to be with part 2, and they're like, we need some more time to cook, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, whatever. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But the thing that makes me like weird about it, and like the thing is, I don't have a horse in this race because I didn't care. I never really played the multiplayer in the first one, but they're like, oh, we'd have to fully pivot to a games as a service studio supporting just this game, and I'm like, why did you have to make it games like? What was wrong with just doing what you did for part 1, which was just, hey, there's an online mode, factions, and that's cool, right? Like, why does it need to have games as a service, like, indefinite, ongoing...
Sony, baby. Sony.
So
because that's the new thing. You're not going to do multiplayer unless you can monetize it like that now. So that's the only multiplayer we're going to get from now on.
Oh, maybe from Sony, but...
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. But...
Everyone, I think.
No, I just I'm kind of shocked to cancel it because that's really what they've been working on the most. I mean, all we've gotten is remasters besides this. So, where are they allocating the time again now? Where are we going into? Because they have nothing then from the studio for another 3 years, right?
Yeah, who knows?
If you scrap this, even if you were on early development for,
they don't have any information on like another Sony studio.
Yeah, I know. As we'll get into in a second here. What else in the news did I miss on it? Do we miss anything else before getting to Insomniac?
Well, there was Rocksteady leaks.
The Rocksteady leaks. That's right.
Rocksteady even had to come out and say, please be courteous to other people and stuff like that.
It was leaked. The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League had massive
leaks.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. So I read them all. I read them all.
I didn't read them.
God.
Yeah.
No, I'm
sounds
avoiding
bad.
them on purpose.
I'm avoiding them, but is it comical? Comical, Tony?
For me, it was comical. Yeah.
Okay.
My response is comical. Other people, we'll see. I would say to people, maybe you should skip this, but that's just me.
Okay. We'll see. I like I said, I like the alpha a lot that I played. I actually enjoyed it. So I know.
Sure.
I enjoyed it.
I'm sure.
I don't know why, but I did. But
the more I read, I was like, no, there's no way. Like, this is just something like nobody's like, no. And then I started listening to like audio clips. I was like, oh. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I see you, fam. I see you.
Interesting. So yeah, I've tried to avoid that. I've actually the Insomniac leaks were. At first I was like, do I look at this stuff? But curiosity got the best of me.
Leaks.
That was different. That's different. This was a ransomware hack.
That was a hack. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
So Insomniac was hacked, and it's not a good thing because their employees' personal information got leaked, and that's got hacked and released, and that's the biggest. I have a big problem with that. In fact, some news places actually didn't report on these leaks because these hacks. I'm sorry, because of that, and I don't disagree with them. I think it's fucking terrible to have employee information leaked out about.
No, absolutely.
So that's personal information should not be out there. The blueprint that we're going to talk about, the game footage that we're going to talk about. different
No.
situation. It's cool to see that, in my opinion, but I don't want somebody to hack somebody for this information.
I
feel
don't think
like-
it's cool to see this. I mean,
I
you're
don't
seeing
mind seeing the blueprint. I don't mind
I
seeing.
mean,
the
I
blueprint.
didn't want to see any of the actual content of like any of the games. Blueprint, the general idea of
I like the
when
blueprint.
stuff went out.
Yeah.
I'll talk
I mean,
about
that's
that,
all
but I
gonna
didn't. I
change,
didn't.
I'm sure.
No, but I
at some
know
point.
delays. But I like a
I hope
timeline.
so.
I like to see that timeline. Like we get that with Marvel movies. We get you know what I mean. Like I like to see that timeline. And so like again, the
Were they ever
timeline.
actually stuck to though?
No, I mean let me open this up actually so I can actually talk about it.
well,
like
there's multiple timelines because they
Mhm.
made different ones in different years.
Oh.
So I forget which one I posted if I did post them.
I don't know which one you
There
posted.
there was one you wrote. I'm specifically talking about the time for the Wolverine game because
Yeah.
you wrote that like they had a deal that by September 2025, and then the image has it coming out in 2026,
Right.
which is different.
Yeah, I mean,
and
the one you
long time away.
posted was Venom basically is going to be coming out in 2025, late fall, and
Right.
then late fall 2026 is Wolverine.
Right.
That's the
So I think that's
slotted
the most.
times.
I think that's the most updated one because again, so this hack, and we'll call it a hack, because it was,
Yeah.
was over
was a
1 TB of data, like almost
Yeah.
2, I think. So
Well, with those videos from the game, I'm not surprised.
no, for sure. But I mean, there's just so much data to go through that there's a lot that these hackers are going through and releasing. So it's going to take a while to sift through it all. So there's multiple years, and the timelines were at different, because these are internal documents again that we're
These
seeing.
are budget.
were
They
not.
got budgets too.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have budgets and stuff too. So I guess if we're going to talk about it, yes, the next thing, which is going to be akin to, I would assume, Miles Morales in scope, is a Venom game.
Yep.
And it will concentrate on what people premised with another Spider-Man villain that was teased in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the Venom. That's the first one. I mean the Wolverine game in 2026. That looks. We got footage for that one.
Seems like Spider-Man 3's.
Spider-Man 3 in 2028. Ratchet and Clank made the menu. 2029.
2028, 2029, 2030. It's like 3 years in a row they're going to release a game.
2030 for X-Men, this is interesting. The X-Men, they apparently have a deal signed with Sony for 3 games to come out by 2035.
Right. So the
So-
way that
Great.
the contract read was Marvel can't even release an X-Men game anymore within, I think, a year or the same fiscal year. I forget. The wording's really weird, but obviously it's legal talk. So they can't release an X-Men title in a certain time period before and after that Sony does the X-Men game, in the Insomniac X-Men game.
Okay.
So that's kind of unfortunate, but the nice thing is they are allowed to appear in like multi-Marvel family affairs, so like Ultimate Alliance or something
At
along
least
those
they'll have
lines.
They
right,
left
Marvel vs.
that-
Capcom. Yeah,
They left that open, which is
right,
good.
which is good because if we lacked X-Men for that, I'd be very upset.
Yeah.
Because it's not that would not be worth the deal and stuff like that. But yeah, we saw budgets. It looks like they're going to spend $610 million on 3 games. 3 games. That's insane, and that's before like marketing. It's
They're all
really
going to be
insane.
about 12 hours.
We also have the numbers that Disney gets from these games. Like it's a high percentage of
It
these
is
games.
a
Like,
ridiculous royalty rate, and
Yeah.
that's what makes me think that I could see why Square Enix was not happy with how Avengers did with what was the studio, Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal
or-
Dynamics.
Crystal Dynamics, yeah.
Because the clause says that if they don't meet certain sales goals, Marvel could just terminate this deal, and Sony would have to pay them money anyway, like for breach of contract.
Yeah.
So it's just like wow.
And it's like 30%, right? It was like 26%.
Yeah, it's like 20, 25-ish, give or take,
I thought it
couple
was
percent, the
26,
average.
yeah, percent.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, they even take like percentage off of like hardware bundles. So like if they make like the Spider-Man 2 bundle or a Wolverine bundle, like Marvel just gets a percentage of the bundle. So it's like, oh shit, like damn, okay. So it's
Wow.
very expensive to make these games, and I think Spider-Man 2, I think they said the
budget was 300.
300 million.
Yeah,
This cost
315.
more
It was
money
315.
than No Way Home. No Way Home.
315.
That is
We're
insane.
talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie. Spider-Man 2, the game, cost more than No Way Home, the movie, did. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. These budgets are crazy. I think for this roadmap, going back to the roadmap, you can't take this with a grain of salt because it's how
Well-
often do you make these delivery times? I mean, like everything's getting delayed. Like I would be surprised.
Those are just targets. Like, okay, this would be a good time. Like, they're not real.
Yeah,
in any
I would
way.
totally be surprised. By next year, this is going to be a completely different roadmap because, like, Venom's probably not making 2025. Wolverine's not making 2026. It might, but
No,
see Venom
no,
being
I would believe in these
2025.
dates.
I mean,
I would believe
here's
in
the
these dates.
thing. For me, these dates seem later than I thought. Like, I'm shocked we're waiting this long for Wolverine, to be honest. 2026.
well, yeah. I mean, that's some of
I
those,
thought
but
this
that
game was
was
going to come out
announced.
maybe.
No.
I thought it had a chance to come out later, like
No.
late
Be-
2024.
Because of this leak, we actually found out that Wolverine trail or
Yeah, announcement,
teaser,
yeah.
whatever, that came weeks after this deal was signed.
Yeah.
So it was literally they worked out the
They
deals
had nothing.
and
They just created
once
a
again-
CGI.
And once again, they did this as a hey, we're recruiting. Like we need people to work on the Wolverine game, so come work at Insomniac.
Yeah. So I mean, like X-Men 2030, that's their deal is till 2035. That game could be out in 2032.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a decade from now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, my cat's on screen too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm excited that there will be an X-Men game. I don't think we need a Venom game, honestly. I think that's kind of a waste of time, but whatever.
I mean, there was some cool like what was the Pixel X-Men game I saw recently? Is that like fake artwork being released or something? There's like looks like they're doing like a 2D version of an X-Men game, like a mock-up. I don't know. That's in development. I've seen that. I've seen that a couple places, so I don't know if that's real or not.
I
I've
know what
seen
you're
that.
talking
I don't
about.
know what
Dude.
you're talking about.
I gotta look it
Yeah.
up. I gotta look it up while we're talking. But
Good thing
So-
with this was the hackers, requested $2
Yeah.
million to not.
It
release
is
this
insane
stuff.
because, so I mean, to go over the full scope of this, not only did we get all of the Insomniac's details, we have full sales data for all of Sony's first party catalog titles, all of their first party sales, and the breakdown on like ROI and like the average sale price and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like for a competitor like Microsoft, having this data, kind of like with the jury thing earlier with the
Mhm.
FTC case, this is a lot of sensitive information that like you do
Yeah.
not
How
want your
much is that
competitors
worth?
right.
Like,
I just have to feel like $2 million would have been better just paying them than to have this leaked.
mhm.
they could have released it anyways. Then though.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, like, if I were someone, I'd be like, yeah, maybe I don't want this getting out there because I mean now you have full sales data. There was even a slide that said the purchase of Activision Blizzard actually does make them
Yeah, I
scared
did
that
see
their
that.
business model is going to be jeopardized and that they're going to have to pivot to different things.
Their pillars would be leapfrogged
Right.
by Microsoft. Yeah,
Right.
that's how it's worded exactly. So there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. And then I'm reading this now on Twitter where it's like journalists themselves now are saying this could be like a turning point where they don't post a lot of things about leaks anymore and respect the fact that it should not happen, and we'll see about that. But this is a different situation clearly because of the hack.
I mean, sometimes studios purposely leak things.
Sure.
There's strategic reasons to do things in that sense here and there. But this is just stealing information and ransoming it off, but then not getting your ransom. So then you just go through with their threat and release it. So it's tricky
Yeah.
because you pay them, they're gonna keep coming at you. If
Right.
you don't pay them, they're gonna release it.
Yep.
It's just. And the other thing is it's gonna just make everybody crack down even harder on security, which is gonna make things even more unfortunately annoying for the people on the ground floor there, because
Yeah,
they're the
absolutely.
ones that are gonna have to deal with all that.
Yeah, and I mean, even so, going back to Insomniac specifically, I mean, we learned that they actually had a Spider-Man 2 online component planned, like a
Yep.
Spider-Verse thing, which, there was kind of like a weird thing in Spider-Man 2 that kind of led nowhere, and that was probably going to be the segue into it. And they had like a lot of art and just, I guess, mock-ups and stuff like that. But I was like, and like even the pitch was like, Spider-Man meets Grand Theft Auto, and I was like, Okay, that would be cool because like we've had tons of like just Grand Theft Auto clones, but like how many Grand Theft Auto clones let you be Spider-Man or the other Spider characters and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting, but that was scrapped, for various reasons. But apparently also like there's supposed to be online components for Wolverine and X-Men and stuff like that. So that's all been canceled too.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some of the Wolverine.
Did you guys watch the footage or no?
I did not watch footage.
I did not on purpose.
I watched
did
I
not
watched the
watch it.
Wolverine because I'm not expecting spoilers from it. I mean, I got one, but it's not like I'm not. Oh my god, I'm not buying the game now. But I wanted to see what it looked like, and yeah, I mean, like I said, there's people complaining. People are complaining like it just looks like Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, no shit, it's Wolverine. It's the
same engine.
Yeah,
you fucking morons.
Yeah, I'm like, that's exactly what I expected, but it looks awesome with Wolverine. So I'm like, that looks really cool to me. It gets me like, I'm sad that it happened, but I'm excited to play that game more myself. Like, I think it looks cool. Like, I really want to play this game a lot. And there's going to be so many aspects of it that, like the healing factor, this Berserker, like Wolverine. I mean, there's some cool stuff I saw that I just like, I want to play this game now, but unfortunately we have to wait till 2026, maybe. And it's frustrating to see that, so I understand why you don't release this thing, because you drum up excitement way too early. But it was cool.
3 years already.
It has been. That's why Mike, your point is accurate. Like late 2024, 2025.
3 more years.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a long 3 more years.
It's a long time in the oven. It's a long time in the oven.
That's how these expensive. Like, get used to it. This is what.
That's why the budgets are fucking $300 million.
Yeah, but this is the kind of game. But if this game comes together, this game is gonna easily make that back for them. Like, it looks great. Like,
see, I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Is like when you're looking at the sales data, and I could see why they wanted. What's his name? Jack. Ryan. Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan. It was Jim Ryan. Yeah.
Jim Ryan. Wanted to pivot all the studios to games as a service. These AAA games are getting more expensive, and you're not selling. You're not selling. Like, we have the sales data. Like, Last of Us 2, you would think made more money than Last of Us 1, and it kind of did, but like, it's enough to, like, there's enough signs there to be like, well, it's not selling as well as Last of 1 did.
Yeah, the trajectory.
The trajectory is not.
That's sort of an anomaly. That was a famously unpopular with its fans game.
Yeah,
it was
right, but same thing with.
I don't
so
think it was
same thing with Horizon
It's
Forbidden
still
West,
sold like ridiculous.
right? It's probably still too early on Ragnarok, because this leak happened in what, 2021, 2022, the hack. So we don't have the data for that, but their trajectory is showing that these, like, again, and I've said that, like, you're going to sell about 10 to 15 million copies of these games, and that's fine when you could sell it for a certain amount, right? But when these budgets keep going up and up and up, and you're still selling 10 to 15 million, well, even at $70 now, that's not making up for the ground of how much these games are costing.
Leads me into the other leak the leak from the hack of Sony looking at raising the prices again to between $80 to $100.
Right, exactly. And that's what, it's the thing. You look at, like, PS3. And again, I'll use this example. They released, 3 Uncharted games on PS3? Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they released 1.5 on PS4, right?
Yeah.
And there's none on...
There's 4.
Right? Yeah.
And the expansion,
there's nothing on PS5. And you look at, Last of Us. They made Last of Us. They remastered it. And then they did Last of Us 2. And they are remaking Last of Us 1. Like, I kind of understand why they're doing it now. Because the ROI on these remasters is way better than just making a completely new game. Because the budgets are such massively lower. So games are getting more expensive. And the sales aren't going up.
I mean, to be fair, Nintendo cracked this code a long time ago.
Right.
You invest in one game and you remake it a few times. They've done that historically for a while, and I don't blame them. Obviously, looking at these numbers, like, I get why Nintendo does this. Like, you can say, like, oh, well, why are they re-releasing the Zelda games over and over? I'm like, well, this is why. Because
right, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, in a vacuum, it's like, so you look at the sales. So Bloodborne, we have hard numbers for Bloodborne now, and we know that it sold 7.5 million copies on PlayStation 4, right? And that's a system exclusive. There's no remaster, there's no remake, there's no PC port.
Yeah.
Elden Ring was fucking Game of the Year last year. Where's the fucking Bloodborne remake? Or the port, right? It doesn't exist. So it's mind-boggling, right? So it's absurd. But point stands. Like, games are getting more expensive to make. They're taking longer to make. Like, is there any doubt we're gonna see like more than one Last of Us game on PS5?
Who knows?
I don't think so.
No.
But at this point, maybe, but they're because you're looking at
Not a new one anyway.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I mean, so I mean, we'll see, but
Like Spider-Man 3 is definitely a PS6 game, right?
yeah, absolutely. Wolverine's probably borderline at that point, fall of 2026. You're probably on that cusp of something happening right there. I mean, there was talk about the new Xbox coming out 2026 at the end of at fall, believe it or not. So, the PS5 Pro is coming too. That was talked about next year. So that was talked about. I don't know. It's a lot. So, again, it's unfortunate the way this happens. Like, you want to leak and you want to hear all this cool stuff, but you don't want it to be a terabyte of data hacked from a company forcibly held ransom. So that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, like I feel really bad for everybody involved, but like most of all, it's the ground employees that are gonna have to, because there was like some sensitive data there, and fortunately, I haven't seen any of that circulating. I haven't really dug that much. The corporate stuff, like whatever, the Wolverine footage, whatever, and stuff like that. Like it's more so like, okay, well, so secretive, and we see this stuff now, and it's like, okay, well, I guess it makes sense why you're doing this, but at the same time, it's like, what's going on, man? You look at Naughty Dog. Like, I would love to see what happened with that Last of Us Factions game, right? Or whatever they're supposed to be calling it. Like, and
interesting.
All we get is it's canceled. Sorry, like it's like all right.
That feels like that should be in another Jason Schreier book. He needs another book.
It probably will at some point. We'll see. And I mean, we still could get more data out of it if Insomniac knew what Naughty Dog was up to, and there's some emails or something. Again, terabyte of data is a lot of fucking information to go through. So we'll probably be seeing, a lot of stuff over the next couple of weeks come out. Unfortunately. Yeah. So all right. I will say really like the one thing that bums me out is seeing Insomniac just relegated to like a Marvel studio for a decade.
It does look weird. It does look weird.
Scratch and clink on the side, but that's it. Just one game.
It did say, like, I think they posted. There was another timeline I saw where they had new IP after X-Men. So you're talking
2030. Yeah. 2030, dude. I don't want to think about 2030 right now.
Yeah, it's 7 years.
I don't even want to think about 2024. That's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. So it's still like 2018.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Right. All right, so this is the last podcast of 2023.
What a way to go out.
Yeah, I don't see much happening next week in news. We'll see. But we do our bold predictions when we come back on the 2nd. So check for that. That's Tuesday of that week after New Year's. I think it's the 2nd. I should probably by now I should have looked it up. But
I think it's second.
It is the 2nd. Yeah, it is. So, it's going to be fun. We do go over that. Once again, we are off next week, so don't forget. We are live on Twitch on Tuesday nights, though, so please join us for those bold predictions. Those are a little longer. January episodes are a little longer, for those wondering. We get into it a little bit on the discussions. We do most anticipated. We do best and worst of the year, and it's divided up in episodes, so you'll see it. But it's a lot of fun. So join us for that, and we'll see you guys. Hope you have a nice holiday break, or if you get a break, I hope you do, or at least a great new year, and we'll see you on the other side into 2024. So thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate everybody. Have a great rest of the year, and we'll see you in 2024.